How's it going, everybody? Barrett here with Spec of Tech. Welcome to the channel. Today I have a fun and amazing video for you guys. I'm going to be comparing the Tonewinner D6000 15-inch subwoofer to the Paradigm X15 15-inch subwoofer. I recently did a review of the Tonewinner D6000. I also compared it to the SVS PB3000, and I'll link both of those videos in the top right-hand corner of this video. All right, so let's get right into the video today. Let's talk about some of the similarities and some of the differences of these subwoofers before we have a look at their room measurements in my room. So first, let's have a look at the price. The D6000 is currently priced at $1,299 US dollars or 1,799 Canadian dollars. The Paradigm X15 subwoofer is currently priced at $1,999 US dollars or 2,199 Canadian dollars. So as you can see, there is a pretty big price difference between these subwoofers. You are saving quite a bit going with the D6000. They are both ported subwoofers, but there is a size difference in their cabinets, as you can see right here. Now, I remember when I had the Paradigm X15 in my room, it is pretty much a 2-foot cube, so it is a little bit awkward to place, but you do need decent size to provide a nice low-end extension. So I understand why they made it as big as they did, but I do find that the D6000 being a little bit more narrow and having different dimensions makes it a little bit easier to place. When it comes to connectivity, both of these subwoofers are very similar. They both have RCA inputs as well as an XLR input. The Paradigm X15 does have a port for a wireless module as well, but you could just buy a universal module and that can be used on both subwoofers if you wanted. When it comes to power output, the D6000 is putting out 800 watts RMS and 3000 plus watts peak, and the Paradigm X15 is putting out 900 watts RMS with 1800 watts peak. So although these subwoofers are very similar, there is one main difference between them, and that's that the Paradigm X15 does include Anthem room correction built in. So when you purchase a Paradigm X15, you do get a little Anthem room correction kit so that you can calibrate it to your room. Now, although the Paradigm X15 does include room correction, the Tonewinner D6000 also has a trick up its sleeve, and that's that it can be placed in sealed mode. So you plug the ports with foam and then you place the DSP into sealed mode, and that'll give you essentially a sealed subwoofer. The Paradigm X15 does not have that option. So now that we've covered some of the similarities and differences of these two subwoofers, let's have a look at the Room EQ Wizard measurements that I took in my room. All the measurements were taken with the subwoofers placed in the front right-hand corner of my room with the calibrated microphone placed at my main listening position. Both of these subwoofers do have other listening modes. For example, the D6000 has a deep mode, a strong mode, and a normal mode. So both of these subwoofers were placed in what would be considered their normal mode for these measurements. All right, so let's jump over to my computer and have a look at the room measurements. All right, guys, so here we are on my computer, and as you can see, I have all my room measurements here. So we're going to be comparing the Tonewinner D6000 to the Paradigm X15 measurements. Again, I want to point out that these measurements were taken with the subwoofers in the front right-hand corner of my room, exact same spot, with the calibration microphone in the exact same spot at my main listening position. So this is as close to apples as I can get in my room. You are going to notice that the volume levels are set differently, but we're going to ignore that anyway because it really doesn't matter what the volume is set at on the processor. All that matters is what it's measuring in the room and if it's compressing. But the reason these volumes are different is because I'm using two different processors, which really doesn't matter because I didn't have any room calibration enabled anyway. I had the room calibration removed for these measurements, so it should be pretty much apples to apples as close as I can get. Anyway, so here we are with the D6000 in normal mode and at volume 65, volume 68, volume 71, volume 74, and at volume 74, you can see that we're hitting compression here, so that will not be our max. The orange line will be our max line. So now let's move on to the Paradigm X15 at volume 33, volume 30, volume 27, still no compression, volume 24. I would say we're definitely hitting some compression here. It's pretty slight. Let's see what I had noted here. So that's at volume 24. I didn't really note the compression, so I guess I kind of ignored it at that point. So we'll give it the benefit of the doubt and we'll give it a little bit more. And you can see that it is compressing here. I think I probably would have, yeah, so a little bit of compression on the low end. So that's the one that we'll use. Even though there was some slight compression in the line previous, this is the one that we'll use. So definitely nothing to shake a stick at. The Paradigm X15 is a fantastic performing subwoofer as well. But as you can see, again, the D6000 is outperforming it. I don't know if you guys watched my comparison of the D6000 versus the SVS PB3000, but I'll link that in the top right-hand corner if you want to check that out. But again, the D6000 is absolutely killing it. So it's pretty similar here. The Paradigm SVS, the Paradigm SVS, the SVS PB3000 did slightly beat the D6000 around the same frequency, if I remember correctly, and it was about a dB difference. So again, we got about a dB difference here, but really, that's not really going to be noticeable. Where things start to get noticeable, I would say 2-3 dB, 3 dB, for sure you're going to notice, because it takes either double the cone area or double the power to get 3 dB. 1 dB you're not really going to notice, but I do want to point out that at this one frequency here, the X15 is beating the D6000 by 1 dB. But once we move to 15 hertz, oh, that pretty much was 15 hertz, wasn't it? Oh, 15.29. So right at 15 hertz, they do start to diverge. So we'll take a little measurement down here. So 96.9 at 12 hertz and 92.4 at 12 hertz. So that's absolutely going to be noticeable. Although you can't really hear those frequencies, it would be noticeable as far as the impact that it gives in the room. Typically below 20 hertz, most people can't hear much below 20 hertz. Some can hear a little bit here and there, but you're going to feel that in the room. So it does have more low-end output. For example, down at 10 hertz, you're looking at 91.2 dB, and at 10 hertz, you're looking at 80. So 12 dB difference absolutely is going to make a difference in your room. I would say that the D6000 is pretty much usable output down to about 10 hertz, even though it does start to roll off a little bit more aggressively right around here. I'd still say that's usable output, but once you start getting below 90 dB, I don't really consider that usable output. But nonetheless, the X15 still has respectable output below 20 hertz. It's pretty flat to about 15 hertz, which most people are, for home theater, are kind of looking around that 15 hertz range. I know that there are some extremes out there that like it even in the single digits, but that's kind of like an expectation, I would say, that most people have home theater subwoofer to perform to about 15 hertz. So both of these do well at 15 hertz. It's everywhere else that the D6000 just absolutely obliterates the X15. I hate to put it that way. I try not to use hyperbolic statements, but I mean, at 20 hertz, you got, try to get that, 99.2 on the X15 and 105. So you got a 6 dB difference here, which, like I said before, to get 3 dB, you either need double the cone area, double the power. So here you would have technically both. You'd have double the cone area and double the power. And then here at our peak, which is usually 32 hertz in my room, 32.2, we got 114 dB and on the D6000. And 107, we'll give it 107. So a 7 dB difference here at 32 hertz. Here at 60 hertz, we have 106 dB versus 93. So that's a massive difference, guys. This will 100% be noticeable in your room. So I don't know how else to put it. The D6000 is absolutely killing the performance game, not just in the budget segment, guys, but for subwoofers that are significantly more expensive, like the Paradigm X15 is, and like the previous video I did with the SVS PB3000. I wish that the X15 had a sealed mode that I could compare as well, like I did with the SVS PB3000, because even there, the D6000 was just killing it again. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I know that I was really excited about the D6000 when I did the initial impression and I did the review. And I'm sure that some of you kind of thought, oh, it's just a little bit of a hype machine, but it really isn't. I'm an audio enthusiast, and I want competition in the market. And to me, this Tonewinner D6000 just offers amazing competition. And I hope that other brands kind of take notice and they look at themselves and reevaluate and say, hey, we're charging significantly more, yet this subwoofer is offering significantly more output for less money. So how about we start offering more value? And I truly do hope that that's what happens with the Tonewinner D6000. And I'm not trying to hate on any other brand. I like Paradigm. When I got the Paradigm X15 subwoofer, I thought it performed exceptionally well. Like, it does have a very good response down to 15 hertz, and it was a great home theater subwoofer, a great music subwoofer. It is a little big. That was kind of my main gripe with the X15. The D6000 kind of does that and more in a more manageable size. Like, it is a narrower cabinet, makes it a little bit easier to place, and still gives you absolutely amazing performance. To me, it really doesn't matter which subwoofer you guys choose, whether it's a Paradigm X15, SVS PB3000, or the Tonewinner D6000. I just wanted to show you guys this information to show you the differences in the performance. So if you are looking for basically the best performance for your dollar, I think it's pretty hard to argue that the D6000 isn't the subwoofer providing that for you. But you may find that you prefer the Anthem room correction in the Paradigm X15, or you might just be a fan of SVS. Either way, it really doesn't matter. I just wanted to show you guys the performance difference. So let's get on with this video. So as you guys can see, the Tonewinner D6000 has some pretty impressive performance regardless of its price point. The Paradigm X15 and the SVS PB3000 are both more expensive than the Tonewinner D6000, and it's outperforming both of them. I think that the measurements have pretty much spoke for themselves here, but if you guys are on the fence between these two subwoofers, if you don't need room calibration, which the Paradigm X15 does offer, then I would recommend going with the Tonewinner D6000 simply because it is offering better performance for less money. But if you are interested in either one of these subwoofers, I have dropped links down below if you'd like to check them out any further. If you guys do enjoy videos like this, consider subscribing, tick the bell icon if you do. Please take just one short second to hit that like button. I always do appreciate it. And I'd also truly appreciate if you'd consider supporting the channel. I've dropped my Patreon link down in the description below, or you can hit the join or the thanks button right below this video. Remember to enjoy your systems. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.